Hi guys, this is McDev. We're back for another great lesson. This one is attach a fallback value to a CSS variable. So a quick recap. Last two lessons we created a CSS variable like we see right here. And then in the one after that, we used the variable in the CSS itself. And so now we're learning about fallback values. Now, there is an interesting note here that talks about how the fallback value is not used to increase browser compatibility, and it will not work on Internet Explorer browsers. Boo to Internet Explorer. The more you work with CSS, the more you'll probably be disappointed with Internet Explorer. Anyways, we'll talk a little bit more about browser compatibility, and then the next lesson after this actually gets right into it. So hang tight on that front. But the fallback value syntax is right here. So we declare the variable or access the variable the same way as before. We have var, and inside var we have the name of the variable. Except this time we have a comma, and then we have the backup value. And so this this is very similar to when we imported fonts and we had a backup font in case we had issues importing the font. The same thing goes for CSS variables. There's a few different reasons why you might not have access to them. The first one that comes to my mind is let's say your CSS variables are in a different file, and for whatever reason that file struggles to load. You'll have access to that fallback value. So here we see this is a simulated example of when we're having a hard time accessing the variable value. The penguin top and the penguin bottom. We're saying, hey, we want it to be penguin skin, which here is set to black, but it's not working. So what we're going to do is add a backup value so that we're then able to see something even if the variable itself is not in view. So let's go ahead and jump into the solution here. So we're going to say black. That's the backup value, and this is the value that's loading, because if I said red, it'd be red. All right. Actually, kind of like the red head on that guy. Black. Cool. And that is it for the solution. We're going to run the test and see it pass. Awesome. So we have the test passing, and we are so close to wrapping up this module, which is exciting. Now, before we wrap up this video, a quick thought on internet compatibility. Like, what is it? Well, internet browsers, they have to adapt to all the different changes with CSS and with JavaScript and all these things as the languages and the tools as they develop. They come up with new things like variables. And so if Internet Explorer, the people who are working on that, which I don't think is anyone anymore, but if the people who are working on Internet Explorer just don't have the resources or just don't care to recognize the new changes, well, then they're just not going to work. And a really great way to kind of see this in action is if we go to the Mozilla web documentation for CSS variables. There's a lot of information here, which is great. It can be kind of intimidating, but it's really useful. So you'll find yourself in this website quite a bit in the future, I bet. Anyways, here we see browser compatibility for CSS variables, and we see that just Internet Explorer does not support it. All of these other ones do. Opera, and we can see the version that supports the variables on forward. But Internet Explorer is just not going to do it. And so the note here is saying that even if we provide a backup value, Internet Explorer is still not going to load the color. And the reason why it's not going to load the color is it just doesn't recognize this whole variable thing at all. It's just, it doesn't know what to do with it. So what do we do with Internet Explorer, right? If you have to support it, which you don't always have to support it, but if you have to, what do you do? We're going to find out on the next video, so stay tuned. And that's all for this video. I hope you found value in it, and I'll see you really soon. Bye, guys.